Hello everyone. I have ultimately no idea what's going on anymore vlog-wise, so this might be the first thing you're seeing today. This might not be. I actually have no idea, but I'm taking control of the vlog one way or the other. I guess. Maybe you'll see this, maybe you won't, because I have no idea. But anyway, so I hope you'd enjoyed having Bethany as a host yesterday and possibly earlier today, because I have no idea how much I know that she's filmed quite a bit and basically made this an editing nightmare for me. Also, if you couldn't have guessed, difference in quality is that I'm filming this on my phone. My phone is not going to try to use its ISO to brighten up the shot like the regular vlog camera would, and it's going to be a little bit shakier. And the phone is going to be a little bit shakier than the CMOS because of the lack of optical image stabilization. My iPhone just has digital, which is going to take it down somewhat, but not to the level that CMOS does. So this is shaking around a lot more than usual, I'm sure. But you'll have to bear with me for a little while as I work over the next few days to actually get my vlog camera back. Because I'm probably not going in tomorrow, but I will likely be going in on Sunday to film what was supposed to happen today, cinematography-wise, and photography-wise for that matter, because I guess where do I start? I have to pick back up from yesterday. So Bethany took the vlog camera yesterday, but not much happened yesterday itself. I kind of just went to class and came home. Today, I found out that I was waitlisted for Drexel in LA. So is she, actually. So there's 4 of us on the wait list. Both Bethany and myself are indeed waitlisted, but we were told not to get our hopes down. That's an odd way of wording it, but it's true. We were told to keep our hopes high, and because people tend to drop for whatever reason, and there's only 4 of us actually on the wait list total. So there's a decent chance that we'll wind up going anyway, but for the moment, no LA trip. So that was this morning. Afterwards, we were going to wind up going to do photography shoots this afternoon. Photography and cinematography shoots this afternoon, but that didn't wind up happening. Because Liz wound up having something to do, and so did Bethany, and that left me with a ton of gear and no one for a subject or for Firewatch. And if you're not from the film world, Firewatch is basically someone to watch your gear so no one steals it or does anything stupid. So I instead worked on coding the Nock website, which I guess I'll show off after I get home because I've been working on it because I have to have a pretty significant portion of it done for class next week. Also, I don't know if I mentioned this the other day, but after she saw my script, Liz convinced herself that I needed to read Homestuck, which she was going back and forth about for a while, because she was like, no, I wanted to tell you to read it, but I don't want to tell you to read it because it's very long and you're going to get sucked into it. And then she saw my script that I wrote Monday night, and she was like, okay, you're reading Homestuck now. So I've been back and forth between that. According to the web URL, I'm on page of all of MS Paint Adventures 2300 or something like that, which is 400 pages into Homestuck, I think. So I'm not gonna talk about that too often. Don't worry, this isn't gonna become Homestuck crazy. But I figured you guys would like to know this truck is really just being a gigantic pain. Okay, back to normal. I know you guys can see even more nothing than normal just because of how dark the footage is with the image sensor. So it's going to look a little bit less noisy, but you're not going to see nearly as much as with the vlog camera, and it's going to be a little bit shakier, but we're going to have to deal with that for at least a day and a half or so. But who knows? She does have my charger and another card, Bethany that is, so I really don't know if she's going. I know she recorded a lot yesterday, but I really don't know how much more she's going to record. And I hope she doesn't fill up another card, because I don't have another empty card at this point. Well, I guess technically I do have the internal memory on my camera, but I'd rather not use that if at all possible, just because it takes absolutely forever to get footage off of that. Have I shown the long way home? I don't know that I have. Sometimes if 95 looks backed up, or I just took it today because I felt like it, but you can go on 95 North like I did, which is that between the parking lots area, and it'll take you back up to Street Road, which is back that way, which is where I got up. I've been filming since I left the parking lot. But this is the Station Avenue right here, so that's where I would come across sometimes if I go out the other way from the train station lot that you're not supposed to do, but I do anyway, sometimes like late at night, or if, again, 95 looks backed up on the ramp, which I mean, the 95 northbound is a little bit, how do I put this, a little bit more regular, more accepted. But I mean, nobody really cares either way. But then getting onto, I call it 95, but the normal way I go, which is Woodhaven eastbound, is difficult, and if it's backed up, it can be really difficult. So it can be easier to take these back ways sometimes, which is what I'm doing right now. I think tomorrow, I'm not planning on going in, so it's going to be a lot of working from home, hopefully on the vlogs. Vlogs up until at least Tuesday or something. I don't know exactly when, but hopefully vlogs. I've got some editing work to do. I've got to finish my stuff for web dev. I'll show off the website temporarily. Actually, I'll show off what I have later tonight on the vlog for you guys, and that'll be that. I also don't know if I mentioned this, but I have an After Effects project where I essentially have to animate the 12 Days of Christmas. So it's not going to be anything super amazing, but I'll be doing that this weekend nonetheless. Also, if you'll remember back to whatever day that was, like the second day I started vlogging, the last day of school that I keep bringing up, when Avid broke my hard drive, that hard drive I've pretty much confirmed is absolutely trashed, because I was trying for a couple hours to get that thing to work again, and eventually it got to the point where it wouldn't recognize, or the computer wouldn't recognize the hard drive at all. And I wound up actually taking it to our tech support guy, also known as Nick, who tried to help me for a while, and again, still could not get the drive to recognize it all. So that drive is toasted. So right now I have no PC Mac hard drive, I just have a Mac only drive, which makes my life a little bit more difficult because my main computer is a PC, but we'll figure it out somehow and deal with it that way. Because all of my I held it together for long enough that I was able to get everything I did not have on the Mac only drive off, but it failed pretty much after that when I tried to reformat it and make it readable and writable and usable again. And it's to the point now where the computer won't even recognize it. So maybe I can get a return on it, because that's the drive that I got, or I got a drive specifically for the editing class at the start of last term. So that drive's only actually like 3 months old. And it's just kind of funny, because that was the drive that my editing professor Jocelyn was like, yeah, this is a drive, you know, if it fails, you can recover everything. And ironically enough, the other drive that I had before is working much, much better, because the Avid just decimated that drive and it doesn't work anymore. But anyway, I'll show you guys my website, but I'm home, essentially. Okay, so here's the website itself. On the right we have the way the website looks currently. On the left we have my my wonderful coding skills. So I'll try to zoom in on this. I can see it being a lot shakier than the regular vlog camera, but I'm sorry, we'll have to deal with it as we go along. So this is my effectively what's going to become my homepage. This is the one I didn't spend a lot of time on this. My portfolio is kind of the big one that I spent a lot of time on. So my about page here, pretty similar thing. Again, I've got a lot to write for that, but kind of the general concept is there. Word wrap is not on, I apologize. So there's a lot of text flying off the screen. Also, I wrote this on the Mac, actually, on a program called Atom. Right now, this is the Idea Pad, because I'm using this because it has Notepad++, which is not on Mac, which is the big reason why I like coding on Windows more. My resume portfolio is probably the least, because it pretty much just has a link to the portfolio page. Will have my resume content, and this pretty much reflects it. Sorry if you can hear that. I don't know how well the buzzing is going to show up, but I keep getting messages, which is another reason why I don't like using my phone to vlog. And finally, we have the portfolio itself. And as you can see, there's a lot of code here. And when I reveal the portfolio, you're going to see a lot of content to match. So right now I have a kind of a little filler thing. This took a while to load, but it does work. There's a link to my final for Design for Media 2 on Vimeo, a paragraph describing it, and rinse repeat. Hosting the daily vlog on there as well. So this video might be on there at some point. It's going to be like Videoception or something. And that's, yes, I'm quite a few days out of date now, because that is the most recent episode. This spreadsheet that I did for Google Slides, a picture of the wonderful team. We have this actually up on, or John is going to be putting this up on the bulletin board as basically an advertisement for us. And here we have a sound file link to Tindak, which is a site SA generally uses to host audio files. I'm using it to essentially have a playable audio file of one of the recordings that you heard from yesterday, where we recorded with the Nomad. So I'm not going to play that because you really don't need to hear it. The rest of this, I guess, will be on the website eventually, so hold your horses if it's not already up by the time you see this. There's probably going to be other stuff on here eventually, but because this is just kind of testing with different types of content. All of this is coded with iframes, by the way, getting a little bit nerdy with this. I mean, this was nerdy to begin with. But iframes basically create effectively a web page in a web page, and then Vimeo and YouTube and Google Slides all have different sections of the website that actually, like Vimeo's is player.vimeo.com. I'm trying to use my cursor as a pointer, that when you have it there, loads the video basically full screen. Like if I go to this, which okay, it is going to load. You'll see that it actually loads full screen, which is actually what the iframe is effectively doing. See, because it loads full screen. And there's also code further over here, switch back here please, that turns off the border and sets all of them, they're all the exact same size. Because it would look really weird if they were all different sizes, but the iframe allows you, thankfully. Because if you go to the, I mean, you could get the embed codes, which is what you kind of have to do to get them to work properly. But you could get the embed codes from the site, and you kind of need to start there. But if you don't resize the videos, it's going to look bad, because as you can see, I have them set to the exact same size. I want to center these eventually, kind of the video and the titles, and then leave the paragraphs left aligned. But while you could use the center command in HTML, it's not a good idea, because they're ultimately going to discontinue that. So for the moment, I'm going to leave it where it is, because we're going to be doing cascading style sheets next week, and I'm not going to jump a million miles ahead, because that would just be too much for 1 week. I think I'm already basically ahead of where I need to be in general, but that's the site for the moment. Later on this weekend, I have to come up with some renderings that what it's going to actually, or not renderings, wireframes of what it's actually going to look like once content is up and designed. But that's a little bit later this weekend. This is not design. This is pure on code. Design is a little bit later on. Well, right now I'm just gonna sit in here, watching Gaming Nerd over here, and listening to the rain, because it started raining yet again. But I think that's just gonna about do it, or just about gonna do it for today. Need to learn to talk, apparently. Ooh, look, I can
this darker, I can make this lighter, I can focus on things that you probably can't focus on. But anyway, enough screwing around by touching things with my finger on the iPhone. I'm going to see you guys tomorrow for, I don't know, hopefully something interesting. Can't even keep this stable with both my hands on the bed. I miss you, optical image stabilization.